Hey, Justin, you want to watch a movie?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
What do you think about,
No, I saw it last week.
Oh, what about,
Not again.
Oh. How about this?
Wait. You want me to watch what?
So, what did you think of Sahara?
Aside from two representatives of the World Health Organization not wearing masks when actively going in to see a sick person or investigating or wearing any sort of like hazmat suits, I loved it.
You know, you don't cover up Penelope Cruz's face.
Fair.
So, for those of you just tuning in, welcome to You Want Me to Watch What? The podcast where Justin and I, between the two of us who have seen dozens upon dozens of movies, introduce something the other hasn't seen, and we watch it and then we talk about it. And today is the 2005 action-adventure film Sahara, starring Matthew McConaughey, Steve Zahn, and Penelope Cruz, with special guest star William H. Macy and Rainn Wilson, and a few other people that you look at and go, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah.
This is, I think, 3 plots are going on in this movie at once.
Yes.
So we open this modern action-adventure movie in 1865.
Yes.
With the conclusion of the American Civil War and Richmond in ruins and the CSS Texas loading up the last of the Confederacy's gold to keep it away from the Union before they sail off and disappear into history.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd they go? Well, that's one of the plots. Is where did this Civil War ironclad get off to? And why? Anyway, moving to modern day, we're in present-day Mali. In Africa, there's a civil war between the dictator, General Kazim, and the Tuareg people. And this is where we're also introduced to the World Health Organization doctors Eva Rojas and Frank Hopper, who are investigating some disease that's been affecting people who have been in Mali. And whatever they uncover, because they don't spell it out, what's been uncovered, Eva is attacked, and they try to kill her. She's rescued by Matthew McConaughey. Dirk Pitt, who is, and I'm going to say this, and I mean this with every bit of respect, all right? They are presenting him as the America's answer to James Bond.
Yeah.
And the movie we get is very much a Roger Moore James Bond.
Yeah.
Where it is silly, it is gadgety, it is exciting with a plot that doesn't really make sense. And it's kind of okay because you're having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout this, and when we see McConaughey's Dirk Pitt, when we see Al Giardino, Steve Zahn's Giardino, very much just in the back of your head, it's like, oh, this is Bond.
Yeah.
And his sidekick Bondlet. And, yep. And Eva is our Bond girl, our Pitt girl here. And William H. Macy as Admiral Sandecker is our M.
Yeah.
And it's fine. And Rainn Wilson is our Q.
Yeah.
So she's rescued by Dirk Pitt, and he, stuff. Nothing that really makes any sense. They get her patched up after her attack, introduce her to the rest of the cast, drop her off with her co-workers, etc. Dirk has been looking for this Confederate ship forever. It seems like the credits are showing all of the little red lines, all these things, while also showing Dirk growing up with Hal and so forth. So these are our first two plots. Is they've some kind of sickness that's going on in Mali that involves Eva, and looking for this Civil War ironclad ship. And then there's the other part that takes up a whole lot of stuff, but is the least interesting, which is that there is a gigantic solar farm. Not solar in the sense of providing electricity, but like a whole bunch of mirrors that are designed specifically to destroy nuclear waste. It focuses the sun on this big tower. The tower collects the energy, sends it through. It's clean, it's good, it works, it's fine. And also it doesn't, because it is leaching toxins into the ground, which is getting into the underground river that runs across the Sahara, which is what's causing the sickness that the World Health Organization is getting into. And so that's what Eva's ultimately tracking down, all being paid for and allowed through the dictator and a businessman, because there's always a businessman who's being very slimy about things. The U.S. government doesn't want to intervene, even though this particular pollution is going to lead to like a global, dip in O2 levels, because it's going to proliferate throughout the entirety of the Atlantic. And yeah, if this sounds weird and outrageous and silly, that's because it is. The movie doesn't care. The movie is absolutely making sure this is meant to be fun. Anytime that Dirk Pitt and Al Giardino are on screen, there's going to be some kind of bickering, like the Honeymooners. Or the Odd Couple.
I loved their bickering.
It's going to be this is so. I'm actually going to retcon a little bit here. So it is not America's answers to James Bond strictly. It is also an updated understanding of Indiana Jones.
Yes.
With the action set pieces, the boat chase with the guns and the leaping from boat to boat, the fight on top of the solar collector with the helicopter spinning around. The final, discovery of the ship, by throwing dynamite and shooting the dynamite while driving around in an Avion Voisin C-28, which is a car from like the 1920s or 30s, through the desert. So the movie doesn't care if it makes sense. It just wants you to know it's fun.
They took National Treasure and made it more James Bond.
Yeah. A little less Nicolas Cage, a little bit more Roger Moore.
Right. Exactly. Because National Treasure came out the year before, so it's just like they just tweaked the dials on National Treasure.
And this is one of those movies where as you watch it, you're like, oh, the good guys are going to win. And they do. And it's fine. And this movie was known as, in 2005, as the most expensive flop up to that point. And if you watch this and expect...
I just looked up what its budget and box office was.
It's like, if you... watch this hoping or expecting the book that it's based on, you will be a bit disappointed, because the book goes into a lot more historical detail and builds up things. As they tend to do. And there's a few of those plot points in the book that's like, it would be really nice, it would have rounded out the movie a little bit more had they done so. Also, the book very much includes, like, the kidnapping of Abraham Lincoln and so if you're going to be silly and stupid, like the whole idea, the whole purpose behind the assassination of Lincoln is that was a cover-up because Lincoln was actually kidnapped by the Confederates at the end and was put on the ironclad. And so when Dirk and Al finally find the ship, they also see like they find the dead desert preserved body of Abraham Lincoln. So
I think that would have been a little bit too much to cram into a 2-hour movie.
Right? And yet there's a part of me that's just like, that would have been would that have been too soon?
Well, considering that it was an alt history kind of thing, no, because Lincoln still died.
Yeah.
This is just a different way.
So, anyway, it's a good guy's win. It's all ridiculous. There's more quips than there are meaningful dialogue, and I love it. On a rewatch, it just kind of sits there in this comfort food place for me.
Oh,
where it's like, kind of like I can watch any one of the James Bonds and recognize both its faults and failures and how much fun they are. This sits there for me. So I want you to talk to me about your what was your experience? And I hope you didn't try to watch it like on Tubi in the last week or so, because the only version on Tubi has been the Spanish version.
So I started watching it on Tubi. I watched it in a couple of sittings because life occurreth. Mm-hmm. I got about an hour. No, I got about half an hour in, and when I finally got around to going back to it, it was off of Tubi. So I found it on Canopy.
Oh, cool!
So I was able to finish it without ads.
Isn't that just great?
It is. So living in a post-pandemic world, like I said at the beginning of the movie, you see representatives from the World Health Organization going in. Yes, they're wearing masks, but then at one point they're going into like, okay, we're trying to track down this person whose son is sick, and the son was with the father last, so chances are the father's sick. They're going. It's not until they find the dead body that she takes out a mask and puts it on. And the gloves she was using, she shoves in the back of her seat, like the little pouch in the back of her driver's seat. And I'm just like, no. Especially since you don't know what's causing this. Is it a virus? Is it airborne? What is it? Thankfully, it's none of those. It's poisoning. So I'm like, okay. By the end of the movie, I was like, okay, then it's fine. But it's like, no. Had I seen this when it came out, I wouldn't have given a second thought to it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Other than that, the ridiculousness of it, I was all in on. Absolutely. 100%. And I'm just like, yeah, this is a fun movie. I enjoyed the ever-loving crap out of it. And the musical stingers with the horns when they're doing the action stuff, I'm like, this is so Bond, but
it's
not.
It is very Bond-esque.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it. I'm just going to make mention of it. I like the soundtrack anyway.
Oh yeah.
But the opening credits is all over a song by like Dr. John. And so it's this jazzy blues thing, and it's just so good.
And there's a lot of classic rock songs that show up throughout the entire movie.
This movie wants you to know that it's here for a good time, and if you don't, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So this is a see it from me. It's a see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And once you've seen it once, pop it in when you're doing laundry or doing anything else. You could probably make it a laundry movie initially, but you'll miss some of the better jokes.
Yeah, and like I said, I watched it over a couple of sittings, but when I was watching it, I was watching it. I wasn't doing other things. And then I'd get to a lull, and that's when I'd pause.
So I also want to point out a couple of the things that really sunk this movie at the time. One was the cost. And you saw it was like $160 million by the time it was done.
Yeah.
Which, to put this great big number into some context, like your actors are paid a lot of money. You know, that's just McConaughey was paid $8 million for it. Penelope Cruz $1.5 million. Rainn Wilson was paid $45,000 for his role.
That's his standard going fee.
Yeah. There is this one action sequence that cost $2 million to film. It was 46 seconds long, and they didn't put it in the film. It didn't make it. Almost $4 million was added to the film's budget just with screenwriters. There were a total of 10 screenwriters that were used to try to make this script polished and working. One of those screenwriters was David Ward.
Okay.
And most people don't know script writers, right? David Ward, he is the guy who wrote The Sting, which I really liked. You were like, this is slow, it's measured.
But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. At least in my memory, I did.
But after that, he also went on to do Major League and King Ralph and Sleepless in Seattle. Down Periscope. And The Mask of Zorro.
Okay, now we're gearing back up towards Sahara levels.
So I mean, this is a guy that, like, he was doing stuff. Like, this is a guy who knows his work.
Yeah.
And they just kind of around it goes. So, if you can find it, it's a fun 2 hours that does not represent the best of 2005, but by golly, is it worth watching?
Yeah.
For the sheer ridiculousness of it.
Yeah. So, like I said, I found it on Canopy, Kanopy. It's a service that is offered through some public libraries. It's a free app. If you check with your library and see if they connect to this service, and it gives you access to a ton of movies, mostly foreign films, but a ton of movies, and they're all ad-free. So, you know, or if you are out in the wild and you see it in the bargain bin, go ahead and pick it up. Why not?
Absolutely. So that is...
And by the way, it's a see it from me.
Oh, excellent. Good deal. So that there is Sahara, 2005, because there were like 3 different films named Sahara over the last 50 years.
And that's initially why I asked you when you mentioned, it's like, which, like, the original or the remake, which remake or whatever, because I was thinking of another Sahara movie.
So there is that. It's see it from me, see it from Justin, and I think it's your turn.
I think it is.